We'll begin on the knees with a folded up towel or yoga mat, lengthening the spine through the crown of the head. Inhale, bringing the shoulders up, back, and down. And take a few deep breaths through the nose. To begin, bring the elbows up, arms at 90 degrees. On an inhale, we'll bring the elbows back, look up, and open the chest. And on the exhale, bring the arms forward, looking down, and lowering your body down towards the feet. You probably won't be able to get all the way down on the injured foot, but just as much as you can. Inhaling, opening. Exhale, folding forward. And here we are warming up your legs, the arms, shoulders, chest, back, and neck, as well as beginning to link movement and breath. Coming back to center, we'll lift the right arm up. Inhale, reaching length, exhaling down to the side, and if you'd like, you can bring both arms together, keeping the chest tilted open. And after being on crutches, it should feel nice to get a nice side body stretch. Inhale, back to center. Exhale down to the other side, again opening the chest and trying to pull as much length through the side body as you can. Using your obliques to support you here. Keeping the neck long. Inhale, center. Exhale, the arms come down to the sides. And we'll come on to hands and knees. Make sure you have your knee support with you here. And we're going to do a little table walk. So we'll inhale, lifting your opposite arm and leg up. Exhale down. Inhale, opposite side, arm and leg. Exhale down. Continue this at your own pace, but try to go a little slow. Think of really pulling the limbs apart. And also think of engaging on the back leg that you're lifting, your glutes and hamstrings. So you're really starting to activate the muscles of the back body, which we will be focusing on more in some upcoming moves. So engaging those muscles. Keep the rhythm of the movement and breath. Inhale, limbs up, exhaling down. And coming back to stillness, we'll set up for downward facing dog. Bring the palms a little bit forward, fingers spread wide, and don't lean any weight on the bad foot. I kind of hook my bad foot on top of the good foot, and sending the hips back, lengthening your lower back, pressing down through the whole palm. And so here we're going to inhale, pulse forward into plank. Exhale back to downward dog. We'll do this 10 times, moving slowly, using your core to control the movement. And again, if this is too difficult, you can instead do hands and knees to downward dog. On the inhale, come forward, keeping the core nice and tight, shoulders pulling back. And pressing down through the whole palm, not just letting the weight come through the wrist. Moving a little bit in slow motion, using a lot of control. the next time you're in plank, we'll take a few breaths here, tucking the tailbone gently, pulling the shoulders back, and exhale down onto hands and knees. And we'll come all the way down onto the belly, and you can move the knee support out of the way for now. Supporting yourself on the forearms in Sphinx, a gentle back bend. And from here you will turn the right arm so it's turned to face your other elbow. And then you're going to lift the left arm up and the right leg up. So it's kind of a cross between Shalabhasana and Sphinx here. Very strengthening for the low back. And as we did before, for the leg that's extended up, really think of engaging your glute and hamstring muscle, having those very active to try to lift the leg higher. Exhale down and we'll change sides, turning the left hand to face the right elbow. And then lifting the right arm up and the left arm up. So opposite arm and leg pulling away from each other, engaging the glute and hamstring of the flying leg. It's a great move for the whole back body. And exhale the limbs down. Back to Sphinx for a moment. You can relax the neck if you'd like to, if it got a little tight for the last exercise. And then coming down, chin onto the floor, arms down by your sides. Now for full Shalabhasana. Inhale the chin up. Arms either float by the sides, or if you can, interlace the hands behind you. And at the beginning, try to keep the feet together here. And again, engaging your glutes and hamstrings. Now the arms will come apart out to the side, the airplane variation. And then if you'd like the most advanced, we'll bring both arms forward. You can let the feet come apart now. Trying to keep long, slow breathing, even in this challenging situation. Think of your shoulders, back, neck, whole back body being strengthened by this pose, improving your posture. And bring the arms back to the airplane position. And then back to fingers interlaced with a different finger interlaced this time. Feet together for where we started with Shalabhasana. And exhale, release. You can relax on one cheek. And the breathing return to normal. This one we're going to bend the knees so the soles of the feet are pointed at the ceiling. And it's not going to look like much, but just a centimeter or a small amount. Try to lift the knees off the floor using the hamstrings and glutes. And again, if you see someone doing it, it won't look like very much, but if it should feel like quite a bit of work for the back of the legs. Sometimes we focus a lot on the quadriceps, but moves like these can be great for strengthening hamstring and glutes. And we'll relax, returning to Sphinx for a moment. And then if you got rid of your knee cushion, you may want to place it under the knees again for our next move. So coming into hands and knees, but then bring the arms forward so they're a little bit in front of you, our elbows straight. You're going to inhale here, exhale, bring the elbows down to the floor, inhaling back up, exhale down. Do that 10 times here. If it's too challenging, you can do one arm at a time. Trying to keep the core solid. It's a great upper body strengthener. Staying with the breath just a couple more times. Relaxing in Sphinx, let the neck relax for a moment, the breathing slow down. And coming onto hands and knees, again make sure the knee is on the knee cushion. Coming to modified side plank, so extend the left leg back and then turn that left foot flat, having the leg straight, and coming up to a modified side plank. Then we're going to straighten that top arm and bring it down by the ear and really pull the foot and the fingertips away from each other. You're going to bring that arm up and see if you can float the back leg up. Again, engaging the glute and hamstring, as has been our theme. And if you'd like to try the advanced, you can let that top leg float forward like a karate kick without changing the alignment of your hips. It's a little more advanced. It's a great glute strengthener. And then in the next exhale, bringing the foot back to center, placing it on the floor, and switching sides. So the opposite leg will straighten behind you. Inhaling your top arm up, bringing the arm to the ear and pulling the arm and foot away from each other. Sliding the foot away from you on the floor, opening the chest. And then the arm will come to face the ceiling again. See if you can gently float the back leg up, keeping the glute and hamstring strong. Get steady here. And if you're able to let that leg float forward like a kick, keeping the hips stable. A little shaking is normal, especially if it's on the boot foot, which will be a little bit heavier. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, gently resting the foot down. Inhale. Exhale, back down to hands and knees. And we'll do some tricep push-ups. Back onto hands and knees, and we'll lift one knee up off the floor. You can lift the right leg up first. And we're going to inhale, exhale, lower down to the floor while keeping your elbows in by your side. So not letting the elbows flare out, kind of more like a chaturanga. You can either come down just an inch or bring your chin all the way down to the floor. Keeping the back leg strong. Keeping the back straight. And we're going to 10. And then I'll take a little break. Come up, you can circle the wrists, or I here interlace my hands behind my head and lean back a little as a counter pose to open the chest. And then exhale. This time we will lift the opposite leg up and we'll do a more regular type of half push-up. So the hands can be a little wider and now the elbows can flare out to the sides. So we'll be focusing here the pecs more than the triceps. And again, you can either come down an inch or you can come down all the way to chin to the floor. Keep breathing through the nose. Even when it gets a little more challenging, keep the rhythm of movement and breath. Again, we're going to 10. And then coming up onto the knees again, circling the wrist. The same counter pose, you can interlace the hands behind you, opening the chest, leaning back slightly. And from here we'll come into camel, so you can have your hands on the hip or fingertips facing up behind you. Imagine reaching up like you're climbing up your spine and just leaning back to how much is comfortable. If you're already able to do full Ustrasana, you can bring one arm behind you than the other. And if your neck is okay, release the head and neck back. But this is a little more advanced. Most people will be getting a great stretch just from hands to the hips. We'll exhale, gently lower the hips down. Come forward onto hands and knees. And then into sitting for wide leg forward bend, Upavishta Konasana. And many of us are tight, and you'll be getting a great stretch just by having the hands behind you, even leaning back a little bit. If you can come to a straight spine, great. And only if you can keep the spine straight, you can bring hands in front of you. Some of you may be able to do the full version of grabbing the toes, but most of us will be having lots of a stretch, just with hands resting gently in front of us, leaning forward only slightly, if at all. You don't want to overstretch or pull this area. Just staying at about 75% of your maximum. Now we'll bring the feet together for paschimotta. So first we'll get a nice straight spine, lifting the arms up for Dandasana, staff pose, also a core strengthener. And then come forward to your degree. Most of the population, if you're keeping a flat back and hinging forward at the hips, not rounding the low back, only need to fold forward very slightly to get all the hamstring stretch you need. And then on the next exhale, we'll gradually roll back to lying on the back. Bring the knees into the chest. And then cross the right knee over the left knee like you were sitting with your legs crossed in a chair. The hands either on top or behind the knees for reclining Gomukhasana. Releasing hip, the glute. And then we'll unwind and change sides. One knee crossed over the other, holding either on top of the knees or behind the knees for a little deeper. Unwind, knees again into the chest, arms out to the side like a T, and simple twist, just gently let the knees drop to one side and look in the opposite direction of the knees, relaxing the shoulders. Inhale, center. Exhale, dropping the knees to the other side, looking in the opposite direction. Inhale back to center. Exhale, extend the legs out for Shavasana, our final relaxation. Arms about a foot away from your sides, palms facing up. And just allow the body to fully relax and adjust to all the work we did. And slowly start to bring some movement back to the body. You can stretch. And make your way onto your side for a couple of breaths. We're coming up to seated. Thanks for practicing with me.